Howdy, 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 my name's Anashi Sasuke. Welcome to the June update video. So, so the first thing I want to address is these TV tropes videos. I don't know if people are already getting sick of those or if people are enjoying them. I don't know how much longer I've got left on the Marvel one. I was leaning towards tackling Kamen Rider next. I don't know how long that's going to take, and I don't know when I'm intending on doing it. But I'm having fun doing these TV tropes things, and to be totally honest, for a couple of years now, sorry about that clacking noise, for a couple of years now, my analytics has been saying people have been finding my channel through TV tropes, and I never found out how that was. But I figure if people are going to be coming in here from that website anyway, I might as well read that website. And it's up there with the SCP wiki of things it's easier to do when I'm not feeling up to voice acting. Which brings me back around to the SCP Wiki. I was fully intending on doing an episode of that yesterday. Unfortunately for my stupid self, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning and my body didn't really like that, so videos didn't happen because being conscious barely succeeded. Monday didn't happen because it was Memorial Day and I was hanging out with my friend. Games! So, I started Oxenfree with the intent to finish Oxenfree, or play all the way through it, and I haven't done a video since. There have been a lot of reasons for that. All of them feel like excuses, but it's mainly just whether or not I felt like it, or whether or not the weather was going to let me, because last week it was 90 for half the week. Right now it's the first time I've been in my bedroom for a while where I didn't have to have the window open to live. Night in the Woods, I picked that back up after accidentally not playing it for 4 months, so I'm still intending on doing both those games. I wasn't sure if I was going to come back for Read-Only Memories 2064. One, because I had started playing it on my Switch because the Switch version has more stuff, but it's a little bit of a pain to hook that up, so I never really got back around to it. I also have on my computer that I've been playing it, but I don't remember where I left off at on the Switch version, and now, much like Oxenfree, there is a sequel to that game breathing down my neck. So I'm wondering whether or not I should come back to that. I'm honestly not sure. I'd like to, but it kind of comes down to whether or not you guys care if I'm going to wedge that back into my schedule or just play it on my own time. So, cycling back now to the Let's Reads of webcomics. I apologize to the 1 or 2 people, as far as I know, that have been waiting for more House Pets, and Dreamkeepers, and Prequel, and Ava's Demon, and maybe even Lackadaisy. What I've been telling myself this whole time, but, like, not really telling you guys. Once again, sorry for the weird clacking noise, I'm just investigating things on my desk while I talk. Also sorry for the white void, it's like that for a reason. Those webcomics hadn't been happening because I didn't want to do it if I didn't feel like I was up to it. But I didn't really ask myself what that meant or why I was having that problem. I wasn't sure if it was my depression or if I just didn't feel like I had the energy, which is I guess the same thing, or if my voice wasn't up to it, because I typically try to put a lot of energy into stuff like Prequel and House Pets and Lackadaisy. We already know that the reason that Lackadaisy stopped was because I'm nervous about it about to have official voice actors. One of these things is the fact that I never really thought about the fact that Freckle was a grown man. He did kind of get kicked out of police academy, so he has to be a grown man, but he looks so small and adorable that I just sort of gave him a tiny voice. But I, heard the voice that Freckle has in the animation, and it makes more sense, but then still also does lend itself to me feeling like maybe I shouldn't even really bother to continue doing that anymore. And I'm not hardly going to bother Tracy to ask her because she's busy making it. So, to that one person who asked me if they could dub Lackadaisy my videos in French, and for me to keep doing them, I'm sorry that I have not continued doing them, but that is why I haven't continued doing them. I was leaning towards bringing Two Kinds back. I never got around to that because honestly I forgot I was intending on doing that. There's no excuse, I just straight up forgot that I was intending on possibly bringing that back. It's still there, I still have the bookmarks to pick up where I left off at. I vaguely remember what was going on, and it's not like the comic stopped. I just hadn't gotten back to it yet. I assume it's going to get even more slightly uncomfortably lewd, which is about 55% of why it stopped in the first place, because it felt uncomfortable to read some of it out loud. So for the people who have been waiting years for more Two Kinds, if you had not already seen that that's why it stopped, I'm sorry, but it stopped because it was starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable to read some of the things they were doing out loud. Ava's Demon and Dreamkeepers, both of those, the creators of those, are doing a lot of things, which are in turn making the output of the comics slow down. Basically, they're all doing a lot of things, except for Prequel. If Prequel's doing a lot of things, I don't know what they are. But Dreamkeepers, they're trying to make a video game. And also they're dealing with the successful crowdfunding for the physical edition of Volume 5. When will the website get Volume 5? Who knows? But since they're working on that, that also means that Prelude has slowed down. I think there've only been like... sometimes they post the Prelude on For Affinity when it gets a new page, and I've only seen them do that like 4 or 5 times in the last year. So both of the Dreamkeepers comics, I have no access to, basically. I don't have enough Prelude to bother doing an episode of it, because the episode will be like 7 minutes and then it's over, and that feels kind of dumb. And with Ava's Demon, she's been working on the successful Kickstarter she's turning the book into an audiobook. They got a new publisher. They just moved somewhere. Her husband got a new job working for Leica, so that's cool. But if the website has been moving, I can't see it because it's not showing up on the archive. So if there have been any updates, I honestly don't know, and I'm afraid to check. Because if I check when I'm not recording it, then I will know things I'm not supposed to know yet, and I am enjoying... like, I'm enjoying reacting to it blind as it happens to me. Because you guys have seen it already. You guys know if there's been an update. I have no idea if there's been an update since whatever the last thing I saw was. As a matter of fact, what was the last thing I saw? Would you like to show me my bookmarks, please? Boop. Into the Ava's Demon folder. Okay, so the last thing I saw was this page. I have no idea if there's anything past this page. I don't want to click the button, because if there is anything past this page, I don't know how much is past this page. And again, I don't want to click it, have one page, and then stop and be like, well, now I've seen it. Yeah, the next button is there, but it looks like it's just going to go back to the front page. Which means there has not been any Ava's Demon since my last episode. Now I know. Now I know. But don't look at that yet. I'm not at that yet. So, there's not any Ava's Demon yet. I don't know that there's any Dreamkeeper. We might as well check that website too. Maybe they finally put Volume 5 on there. I have my doubts, but let's go check. Still says Volume 4. Let's skip to the end of it. Next page. Yeah, that's not here either. Okay, so there's no Ava's Demon, and there's definitely no Dreamkeepers. Now I know. Other things. I already addressed the SP Wiki. There's plenty of that. I'm never going to run out of any of that. I just have to do more of it. I did have somebody ask me if there was any way that I could, like, let them know which SCPs I cover in the videos. I honestly don't know why it never occurred to me to put that in the titles. I usually struggle to come up with a good title, and the title could just have been all along. I could have just had the title be which SCPs I'm covering instead of trying to come up with some witty nonsense and repeating myself every year and a half or so. But I tried to say it as tactfully as I could to the person who asked me, but I'm not going back through over 230 of these, over 1,100 SCPs. I'm not going back through all of that so that I can say which 5 I'm covering in that episode, because I generally say that as soon as the video starts. Within the first minute or so, unless I ramble and apologize and whatnot at the beginning, it usually gets said. But from this point on, I'll probably have the title be which SCPs I'm covering, instead of trying to come up with something interesting, because I'm running out of... I'm only like a fifth of the way through the website if I'm being generous to myself. I've already run out of titles. Plus, there's the long episodes that have 30 entries in them instead of 5, so it really just would be awkward to try to go back through all that and do that. It's much easier to just go forward, have the titles be which SCPs I'm covering, instead of trying to come up with something interesting. Or maybe just come up with something interesting to say, and then also say which 5 I'm covering. Or put it in the description. Something! I really should have been doing that years ago. Don't know why I didn't. I'm sorry. I say that so much. But that's SCP. I said the MCU thing. I said the webcomics. React videos. That's the other one. I do still have a folder in my React videos. Yeah, I have a React folder. And Pork Chop and Flat Chest is still in there. I do have absolutely every intention of at some point coming back to that. I don't know what's been stopping me, but I do intend on going back to it because I was enjoying those and I want to see more. And so I haven't watched them at all due to having the React series for it. I assume it's been updating this entire time, but I do still intend on coming back for Pork Chop and Flat Chest. I also intend on coming back for Interface. Someone pointed out to me that the newest episode was out, but also that Umami's working on the last episode. So I figure I will either wait it out for the last episode and watch them both together, or, like a crazy person, do a video where I watch all of it in one shot, so that it's fresh in mind. There's no real reason I should do that to myself, or my computer, or my rendering process. Which doesn't feel like I'm doing a whole lot, but it's stressful when it's happening. But I probably shouldn't do that, but I might. I could just edit it in pieces, like I do with the 3-hour-long SCP videos. But I don't really remember what's going on, and I feel like if I watch them all in one go, it'll make more sense to see it all happening at once while also having the knowledge of what I've seen so far. Such as having learned that spaghettification is an actual term for when people get sucked into black holes. I don't know who's been getting sucked into black holes for them to make that be a word, but it's there. Science is using it. Why is my clock all grayed out on my computer? Clock, what's wrong with you? Well, I don't want to click it and make something freak out, but the reason this other tab is here is this weekend I got to hang out with one of my friends for his birthday, who I've only seen once since February 2020, because when COVID started happening, his grandmother was at risk and so was my dad, and I didn't want to risk his grandmother any more than I wanted to risk my dad. So we didn't see him from February till October, when all 3 of us had aged, and then we didn't see him anymore until this weekend. One of the things that we had been doing was we play games. Like, typically it's me, because I like doing crazy voices for all the games if there's no voice acting. My other friend played through the first Bioshock one, so I finally got to see how that ends. But we had done Path of Radiance, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and we started Radiant Dawn about 2 years ago at this point. And we finally got to continue it. And I got to a guy, let me go find his name so that I can pull up. You need to see this guy's face to understand why I gave him the voice that I did. But the reason I'm doing this is because doing these voices again and like entertaining my friends to try to come up with good voices, it reminded me of how much I've lost in my Let's Reads by being paranoid that they're not good enough. When what I should have been doing is just going all out, not giving a singular fuck about how loud it is, or how ridiculous it is, or if it rips my throat to shreds. I have overpowered Vicks cough drops specifically for that. But instead, I wake up in the morning, I look at my recording setup and go, maybe it won't be good, I shouldn't even try, and then I play video games instead and then feel guilty for it. But this weekend, I got to do crazy voices. Not all of them are good, because once again, I'm a 29-year-old going on 30 grown-ass man, and Micaiah is supposed to be like something younger than 16. So obviously she doesn't have a good voice. So this voice is basically the same voice Ike got, which is basically me talking, but slightly more serious. So not everybody got a good voice. But when I got to Izuka, now let me go show you Izuka. Izuka, Fire Emblem. Not the fanfiction. Look at this motherfucker! You look at this man and tell me he is not obviously up to something. His picture in the game... Hold on, is this his picture in the game? Look at that. Look at that. That is not the... That is not... If you know anything about Fire Emblem, if a mostly bald dude with a frown, no eyebrows, and purple shows up, that motherfucker is evil. So... Now then. Doing these voices, it helped me realize that I need to go back to being wacky. But I also, for the sake of it, wanted you to hear, if not exactly the voice I did, at least the best approximation I can give you. So, I went and found the script for the chapter where he shows up. So, before the battle, I'm gonna... See, I'm still in the mindset of needing to apologize for the voices not being good. Fuck it. We have to go back to the desert. We still have something we need to do. It'd be great if we were to find Ashnard's son. I'm burning up out here. I'm not sure what it is. I see a lot of images stacked on top of each other. It's hard to see what they all are. There's danger, battles, and terrible sadness, but also hope. Whatever our destiny is, I know we'll find it in the desert. Let's go. I understand, Micaiah. I'll tell everyone to make ready. We've already been north, where we met Prince Raphael and his party. That leaves east or south? Which way? What is it, Valuk? Is something wrong? Valuk says he senses a Bjork to the south. Or senses Bjork. A lot of Bjork. That settles it then. We'll head south before the battle. Impressive as ever, General Tironio. However, we can't hold out forever. We are seriously outnumbered. It's time we put these vermin in their place. Are you ready, Jill? Just give the word! Alright then, let's get them! Who could the Benyon soldiers be attacking out here in the middle of nowhere? Whoever it is, we have to help them! Wait a moment. Those people fighting the Benyon soldiers, it couldn't be. That white armor, only certain generals were allowed to wear it. I may very well know that soldier. Really? Well then all the more reason to help them! Let's hurry! After the battle, outside the hideout. General Tironio! See Hark and Jill too! I haven't seen you since the war ended 3 years ago. Who would have thought we'd meet again in such a desolate place? So, you've grown. I hardly recognized you. We have a lot of catching up to do, but for now, I'll just make the introductions. This is Micaiah. And who have we here? Step back! Who are you? Lord Izuka, there's no need for concern. This young man is Soth. We know him well. Soth, may I introduce Lord Izuka. He is advisor and close confidant to Prince Peleus, Ashnard's son. Micaiah, did you hear that? The prince is here! Still, I can't believe we ran into you three of all people guarding the prince. What a lucky coincidence. General Tironio, we came here because we heard the prince was gathering forces in the desert. We want to help you in your efforts. Will you let us join you? Certainly. Dain needs all the courage we can muster. Let us join forces. See here! What do you think you're doing? You can't just ignore me and start making decisions. These people are suspicious. Very suspicious. You're all Benyon spies, aren't you? Come now, tell the truth. We're the Dawn Brigade. We never worked for those filthy curs. The Dawn Brigade? But how? Then perhaps the girl... No. Could it be? Are you the silver-haired maiden? Do you have the healing touch of sacrifice? Excuse me? Take your hands off her. What a coincidence. Or is it fate? Or maybe it's my unrivaled skill as a revolutionary organizer. With the silver-haired maiden at our side, we'll surely win over the people of Dain. And then, yes, incite scattered rebel movements, and then further the future change. Soth was the one who said, is he touched in the head? Oh my, but yes. I'll beckon to... No, demand that the vicious scalawags surrender. Perfect. I am a genius. Come, come, my dear maiden. You must meet the prince. Goddess help me, that man could try the patience of a stone. After battle hideout.
Look here! Before you stands the one and only, the Grand Prince Peleus, true-blooded son of the King of Dane. And here we have the consort and queen of our late King Ashnard, Lady Almeda. And look at you! You're standing? Did the desert dry out your brains? Kneel ye before these royal personages.
It's all right, Azuka. Please don't stand on ceremony. I didn't know I was a prince until very recently, so really, I'm not used to any of this.
What do you mean?
Until half a year ago, that is, until Azuka found me, I was raised as a normal commoner. To be frank, it still doesn't feel real to me that I myself could be the son of King Ashnard. It's a little overwhelming. Don't talk nonsense, darling. You are my own sweet, sweet son, Prince Peleus. Yes, I'll never let you be parted from me. No, never, ever again.
Enough of the pleasantries, then. Shall we get down to business? Well, then, Micaiah of the Dawn Brigade, I henceforth appoint thee to the post of Vice General of the Dayan Liberation Army.
Excuse me, what do you mean by that?
Wait a moment. I appreciate the offer, Azuka, but I'm afraid I cannot accept. I've no war experience and no knowledge of battle tactics. Dayan needs a general with both. Are you not a member of the heroic Dawn Brigade, whose conquests precede them? Do you not want to save the people of Dayan? Serve the prince, and you can step out of the shadows and face the Empire boldly, without shame. Why hesitate?
This is a thinly veiled scheme, and I see right through it. You just want Micaiah to serve as a figurehead for your revolution.
Is that a problem?
Yes, that's a problem. She's not some fancy stoneware for you to set on display. If you're going to do this, then I cannot sign on.
Exactly. Micaiah, please, wait. That isn't what we meant.
You're not the only one who knows nothing about battle. I don't either. But if I don't act, the devastation of Dayan will grow ever worse. So I have to be brave. Please, I'm asking you to do the same, Micaiah. For the sake of the future of Dayan, will you join our cause? Prince Peleus, I will.
Micaiah!
Thank you. And in return, will you ensure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Dayan will be freed from the rule of the Benyan Empire? I promise. I trust in your word. After the battle outside the hideout, I can't believe you! So why are you so angry about this? You have to ask? You know we can't live in the public eye. Doing something that will deliberately make you stand out. I'm just saying, it isn't like you, Micaiah. When we were separated during the war, you changed, Soth, and I changed too. I want to protect Dayan more than anything. Our people must be saved, and if I can help in that effort, I will. So much so that you'll risk your life and sacrifice who you are. Yes, but that isn't all. Prince Peleus cherishes the same wish that I do. I can feel it. Deep in his heart, he wants to save Dayan. If we work together, I know that we can do it. And you don't hear that voice we spoke of? The voice that warned you of impending danger? It's alright, Soth. These visions... I wonder if it's Soth-y. It's probably Soth. The visions I see spreading out before us, most of them shine with hope. Alright? I trust you. More importantly, I believe in you. I won't resist anymore. But let me just say one thing. What? I will protect you. I know that! Why do you think you need to say it? I just wanted to make sure you knew. Thank you, Soth. So, doing dialogue like that while I'm playing the Fire Emblem games with my friends, that's the kind of thing I used to feel like that's the kind of effort I was putting into the webcomics. And lately, I guess the further the pandemic has gone on, the less I really have the energy to put out for it. But the fact that it's finally getting to the point now that me, my dad, all of my immediate friends, their family, we're all vaccinated. So we can actually do things again. I feel like the more I get to do this, the easier it'll be to start doing the comics again. So I'm really, really sorry to everyone who's been waiting for whichever comics you've been waiting for, that they haven't been happening. But if I'm going to be completely honest about it, I just have been so drained by everything. I don't even really have the energy to play the video games I'm using to procrastinate. I've done, like, maybe 3 missions in the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and I haven't turned it on since. I've been playing a whole lot of Monster Hunter Rise. I've about 150 hours of that now. I've definitely been procrastinating while also trying to do videos. Even doing the TVTropes things is still a form of procrastination, because that time slot is supposed to be House Pets, or Lackadaisy, or whatever the hell happens on Thursdays. But I don't need to voice act for those, or maybe I do a little bit of it just to be silly or stupid. But when I want it to be something high quality, or is it at least as high quality as I'm capable of, with the tech that I have, if I don't feel like I've got the energy to do it, then I don't want to give you guys bullshit just so that there's content. But I also don't want to just not do it because I don't have the energy for it to not be bullshit. But that thing I just did from Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, I feel like it's a good sign that things are changing, and maybe soon I'll be able to get back to how I was. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know when it's going to happen. I've been trying to do a prequel video for the last few weeks and can't bring myself to even open the website. But hopefully this is a good sign. And I just wanted you guys, if anybody even watches all the way through the updates, I just wanted you guys to see what I'm capable of when I'm not bogged down by anxiety about it. I don't know how that sounds to you guys. I don't really know how it sounds to me, because all I know is how I sound to myself. You know how it is. You hear yourself in your head, and that's not what everybody else hears. So I don't know what you guys hear when I did the Azuka voice, but it damn sure wasn't my voice that I know of. But that's about everything I had to say and do for this update video. I don't usually do my outros because it feels weird to be like, here's information about why the content you want isn't happening. Please subscribe. Smash that like button. I don't know why we're supposed to smash the like button. We want it to keep working, but whatever. I hope everybody's having a good start of the summer. I know summer doesn't officially start until the 20th, but clearly weather itself's not going to wait for that. So stay safe. Don't heat stroke. Don't blow away with the hurricane. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.